Hello students, in previous video we had an overview of what are interrupts, and we also discussed about interrupt service routine. Today we have to start with types of interrupts. So let me recall what are interrupts. Interrupts are given by the peripherals, for example input output devices, which are connected to the input output devices like keyboard, display, which are connected to the microprocessor. The peripheral devices will give interrupt to the microprocessor when the peripheral requires some service from the processor. That time peripheral devices gives interrupt to the microprocessor. That we have already discussed in detail. I'm just recalling what are interrupts, and we did interrupt service routine. So today we will discuss about types of interrupts in 8085. Interrupts on 8085. The 8085 has two types of interrupts, such as software interrupts and hardware interrupts. So what are software interrupts and what are hardware interrupts? Software interrupts. Software interrupts are program instructions. Like I had told you that in 8085 total 74 instructions are there. So they are program instructions. Like one of the example which we have seen multiple times are add instruction, move instructions that we have seen in previous videos. So the software interrupts are program interrupts. Program interrupts like the instructions which we use in the program, assembly language programming, like add instruction. So there are software interrupts also, which are program instructions. Like add is an instruction, program instruction, move is a program instruction. Likewise, there are instructions for software interrupts that we will see. What are those interrupts? First, let us know what is software interrupt. These instructions are inserted at desired locations in the program. If you remember the example which we had seen, these are the locations. So these are the locations. So the software, these program instructions are inserted at desired locations in a program. So this was our main program. Main program was starting from location 2000H, and the desired location for the interrupt was, according to the need, was 2020H. So this is the desired location. The instructions are inserted at desired locations in a program. My program starts from here. So in a program, the software interrupts are inserted at a particular desired location. So software interrupts are program instructions. Example of software interrupt: to jump to subroutine. So before doing this, let us see what's given in here. First, we will talk about software interrupts. The software interrupts are of 8. It has 8 software interrupts. 8085 has 8 software interrupts. These are nothing but program instructions like add instruction, move instruction. So software interrupts are program instructions, and total 8085 has 8 software interrupts, which are known as RST0, RST1, RST2, RST3, RST4, RST5, RST6, and RST7. So from RST0 to RST7 are the software interrupts. where RST is restart, because when this type of interrupt instruction is given to 8085, it jumps to specific fixed address. We had seen the example of interrupt service routine, that is what it is talking about here in this sentence. So I will tell you what's written here. For example, we know the software interrupts. There are total 8 software interrupts from RST0 to RST7. So RST4, as you can see, RST4 is a software interrupt, and we know that software interrupt is a vectored interrupt. What is vectored interrupt? Vectored interrupt means when the type of interrupt which is received by the microprocessor, and microprocessor knows the location where it has to jump, the location from where this interrupt is coming, that is vectored interrupt. The microprocessor knows from where the interrupt is coming and where it has to jump, where to which interrupt service routine it has to jump. I will tell you again, I will recap what is interrupt service routine. So RST4, it is vector interrupt. That means it has particular address. That particular address is 0020H. When I'm talking about RST4, that means the microprocessor, when it will receive this interrupt, it will jump to location 0020H. It causes a branch to subroutine starting from memory address 0020H. So what does this mean? See, my main program, the main program which I want to execute is starting from 200H. The first instruction is LXI SP, 5000H. This is from where the main program is starting, and the next instruction is stored in location 2001H. Then next is stored in 2002H. Likewise, it will go on, and at location 2020H, it will encounter RST4, which is software interrupt, program instruction. This is RST4 is a program instruction, but this is interrupt instruction, software interrupt instruction. So as soon as it encounters RST4, the microprocessor encounters RST4 instruction. That means it knows where it has to jump. It has to jump to location 0020H. So it will jump to location 0020H. So the set of instructions which are stored in different memory location is known as subroutine. And when we are talking about interrupts, it becomes interrupt service routine, because there is some peripheral device which needs service from the microprocessor, and it wants to send the interrupt RST4. That means the peripheral wants service from the microprocessor. So, and this is an interrupt, and when the microprocessor encounters RST4 interrupt, it has to jump to a subroutine. So that is why the name given interrupt service routine. So it will jump to 0020H, and the set of instructions which are stored from location 0020H will get execute, like at 0020H there is move D, A. Then at 0021H there will be next instruction, then 0022, then 0023, and when it reaches 0027H, it encounters RET, that is return instruction, which determines the processor that the subroutine is finished it has to jump back to where it had left. It had left here, so it will be back to 2021H. So as you know, before jumping to 0020H, the processor will store, as we know, program counter and stack pointer. So program counter, what it does, it points to the address of next instruction to be executed. For example, currently microprocessor is executing this instruction, but program counter will point to the next instruction, which is to be, the program counter will point to the address of next instruction which is to be executed. But when it has to jump to 0020H, the program counter should point to 0020H rather than pointing to 2021H. So what happens then when the processor has to jump to some other subroutine? That time this address will be stored in stack pointer. This we know, this I have already discussed in the video of program counter and stack pointer. So this address will be stored in stack pointer, and after finishing the subroutine it will return to where it had left in the main program. Okay, this is possible because of program counter and stack pointer. As soon as microprocessor encounters return instruction, it will return to where it had left. So that is what it means here. RST40020H is the address where the microprocessor jumps when this interrupt occurs in the main program. It causes a branch to subroutine starting from memory address 0020H. Similarly, RST5 causes a branch to a subroutine at 5 into 8 is equal to 0028H. I will tell you what this means, but this you know, when RST interrupt is encountered by the microprocessor 8085, it knows that it has to jump to subroutine which is starting from 0028H. We can calculate this address also. This we will see in a while. We can calculate this address also, and this is very important question. Thus, RST instructions are useful for branching to frequently used subroutines. RST instructions are used mostly when frequently used instructions are needed to be used. So the frequently when the RST instructions are useful for branching to frequently used subroutines. The subroutines which are frequently used, that time we use RST instructions. And the software interrupt routines are 8 from RST0 to RST7. So I hope this is clear to you. Next is hardware interrupts. Software interrupts is clear to you. As we know, interrupts are of two types. One is software interrupts, second is hardware interrupt. We have discussed software interrupts, now we will start with hardware interrupts. So what is hardware interrupt? An external device initiates the hardware interrupt. Of course, interrupts are initiated by some peripheral devices which are connected to the microprocessor. So an external device which initiates the hardware interrupts, and placing an appropriate signal at the interrupt pin of the microprocessor. Since the name suggests hardware, that means some hardware is involved. When an external device is giving interrupt to the microprocessor, hardware interrupt to the microprocessor, that time pins of the microprocessor are used. Hardware microprocessor, sorry, hardware interrupts are of 5 types. Those 5 types are trap, RST 7.5, RST 6.5, RST 5.5, INTR. So before doing this, let us see what's written here. When we were doing software interrupts, it has 8 software interrupts known as RST0 to RST7, where RST is restart, because when this type of interrupt instruction is given to 8085, it jumps to a specific fixed address. The address is calculated as suppose RST1. So this we will learn afterwards how to calculate the address of these software interrupts. When RST1, okay, this we will do in a while. Let's talk about hardware interrupts. 8085 has 5 hardware interrupts as trap 4.5, RST 7.5, RST 6.5, RST 5.5 and INTR. So these are 5 hardware interrupts. Why hardware interrupts? Because the pins of microprocessor are involved. See, I hope you remember the pin diagram of 8085. Here you can see it has got the 6th pin is trap, RST 7.5, RST 6.5, RST 5.5 and INTR. So these are the 5 hardware interrupts when an peripheral device or external device wants to send some hardware interrupt, the external device will send the specific signal to the particular pin of 8085. So what is trap? Let us see. Trap, in case of sudden power failure, it executes a interrupt service routine ISR. Of course, this trap is a vectored interrupt because when the processor receives a trapped interrupt, it knows where it has to jump. So, and then send the data from main memory to backup memory. In case of sudden power failure, when this interrupt occurs, it sends the data from main memory. Main memory means RAM, random access memory, which stores the data temporarily. So the data which is there in the main memory will be sent to backup memory. So there won't be any data loss. So I hope it's clear to you. Trap is an example of power failure. Trap is a vectored interrupt. RST 7.5, RST 6.5 and RST 5.5 are also a vectored interrupt. There is only one interrupt which is non-vectored interrupt, which is INTR. INTR is a non-vectored interrupt. That means when this interrupt is received by the microprocessor doesn't know from where this interrupt is coming and where it has to jump, at which location, which address it has to jump. Let us see. INTR is a non-vectored interrupt. That means the processor is unknown about the memory location from where the interrupt is generated and is needed to be serviced. So in such a case, the interrupt generating device sends the address of the location where the interrupt is to be serviced. Okay. It is maskable interrupt. So the hardware interrupt can be maskable or non-maskable. Only trap is the interrupt which is non-maskable, which cannot be ignored. Maskable means it cannot be disabled, it cannot be ignored, non-maskable. But maskable means the interrupts can be disabled, can be ignored. So anti except trap, all the interrupts, all the hardware interrupts are non all the hardware interrupts are maskable. Only trap is non-maskable. It is maskable interrupt whenever an INTR signal is received by the processor, then the acknowledgement is in INTA, as you can see in the pin diagram, INTA is also there. This INTA acknowledges Acknowledge INTA is sent by the processor to the requesting device by which it asks for the address for the interrupt service routine. The microprocessor acknowledges that yes, I have received an interrupt, so please send me the address where I have to jump, where the interrupt service routine is there. Once the external device provides the address of ISR, interrupt service routine, to the processor, then it loads the address in stack. After it suspends the main program. Again, it's the topic of program counter and stack pointer. Among all the hardware interrupts, INTR is the lowest priority interrupt. Trap is got the highest priority and INTR has got the lowest priority. Highest priority and the lowest priority. Now let us see what is written in here. So INTR is only non-vectored interrupt. Rest software interrupts and these 4 hardware interrupts are vectored interrupts. These interrupts are vectored interrupts. These hardware interrupts are vectored interrupts. It means when this type of interrupt is given to 8085, it is vectored or directed or transferred to specified fixed memory location. The address of these interrupts is calculated as, again the address of the interrupts can be calculated. We will see in a while how we can calculate the address of the vectored interrupts. So let us see how we can calculate the address of the vectored interrupt. How to calculate the address of vectored interrupt. So here's the example RST5. So first thing which we have to do is, as you can see, here we have got 5. Here we have got 5. We will multiply this 5 with 8. So what are we going to get is 40. 5 8s are 40. Here base 10 represents that this is decimal number system. As we have done this number systems in chapter 1 of CS 111 standard syllabus. So this is decimal number. 5 8s are 40. We will have to convert this decimal number into hexadecimal. How we convert a decimal number into hexadecimal? We divide the decimal number by 16. So we will divide the 40 by 16 and we get 16 2s are 32. The remainder is 8. Then we will take the quotient, we will divide the quotient by 16, we will get the quotient will get 0 and the remainder will be 2, and we will take the remainder in reverse order. As soon as we get the quotient as 0, that time we take the remainder in reverse order. So this becomes 2 8 H 28H 00. Hexadecimal number of 40H is 0028H. So as soon as the RST5 software interrupt is encountered by the microprocessor 8085, it will jump to 0028H address of interrupt service routine. Okay. Next is, for example, we have RST for example 6. Okay, so if I want to calculate the address of this software interrupt RST6, so what first thing I'm gonna do is I'll multiply 6 with 8. 6 8s are 48. So 48 is decimal number system, is a decimal number. Then now I'll have to convert this into hexadecimal. So to convert this number into hexa, what we will do, we will divide this 48 by 16. So what we will get is 16 3s are 48. The remainder is 0. We will take this quotient and we will divide it by 16. 16 zeros are 0 and the remainder is 3. So as soon as we get the quotient as 0, we will stop. So my remainder is 3 and here what we got is 0. This is 0 and this is 3. We will take the remainder in reverse order. So it is 3 0 and here we will put 2 zeros. 0030H. So the vectored address of RST6 is 0030H. Likewise, we can calculate the vectored address of remaining software interrupts and the hardware interrupts except INTR, because INTR is the only interrupt which is non-vectored interrupt. I hope you got it. How to calculate so let's read this. The address is calculated as, suppose RST1 is equal to 1 into 8, so the decimal value which we will get will be 8, but the decimal value of 8, when it will be converted into hexadecimal, the hexadecimal is also 8. From 0 to 9, the decimal value, from the decimal numbers from 0 to 9 and hexadecimal from 0 to 9 are same. The value starts changing only after 10. So in decimal number, the 10 is the decimal representation and 0A is the hexadecimal representation. So till 9, the hexadecimal and decimal numbers are same. So that is why here 1 into 8 is what we got. Vectored address as 0008H. When RST1 interrupt is there, 8085 goes to location whose address is 0008H. For RST5 it is 5 into 8 is equal to 40, and this decimal number is converted into hexadecimal and we got 0028H. H represents hexadecimal and so on. Okay. And similarly, we can calculate for trap also. For trap, the value is 4.5. 4.5 is multiplied by 8. Whatever value you will get in decimal numbers, you will convert it into hexadecimal number. Okay. Likewise, for 7.5 also you can calculate, for RST 6.5 also, and for RST 5.5 also. In these 5 interrupts, in these 5 hardware interrupts, trap has highest priority while INTR has lowest priority. Similarly, trap is called as non-maskable interrupt, as I have told you. Non-maskable means which cannot be ignored, which cannot be disabled. Okay? Which cannot be disabled. Microprocessor has to give service first. First and foremost thing the processor has to do is to service this interrupt. But other interrupts, RST 7.5, RST 6.5, RST 5.5 and INTR are maskable interrupts. These can be disabled. These can be disabled. Okay. Here is interrupt procedure. Here they have just tried to explain what exactly happens. Here they have taken an example. An input-output device sends an interrupt signal to the microprocessor to indicate that data is ready for input. Like input-output device is ready to send the data to the processor. So that time the input output device will send interrupt signal to the processor. Microprocessor temporarily stops what is doing and sends interrupt acknowledge signal. As soon as the microprocessor receives the interrupt, it stops what it is doing and sends the acknowledge to the input output device that yes, I have received your interrupt signal and I'm ready to provide service to you, input output device. Microprocessor stores the contents of program counter into stack. Stack is a memory and stack pointer is a register. Into the stack, an address of stack into stack pointer. If you have watch the video of program counter and stack pointer, then you will come to know what is written in this sentence. Stack is a memory and stack pointer is a register. This you have to make note of. Microprocessor inputs the data from the device and then after completing its task, it returns to the main program. So this is the end of the topic interrupts in 8085. So for today we will stop here. Thank you.